Okay, time now is 2:49 2:49 p.m. on May 29th. Yeah, so wow, we're already near the end of May. Goddamn. So I I I blah blah blah. I slept from there's another fly again. Fuck. I slept from 4:45 till 2. That's another fly. To 2 p.m. basically. And I laid on my bed for a little longer. A really good sleep. Slept all the way. Did not wake up at all in the middle. I actually went to bed at 4:30, but I had to use my phone to make myself drowsy. But 4:45 is still not early at all. It's still extremely late. I beat the 5 a.m. curse for sure, but hopefully, I go to bed even earlier tonight. I'm hoping for. Actually, I'm going to a film set tomorrow, so, as early as possible, please. But yeah, there is progress. Um, yeah, so that's that. That's great. Yay. Um, yeah, and then I don't have much else to say. The employer woman, who works for the architecture services company, she wants me to meet in person, right? But the thing is, today I'm too tired to go out. Neither am I. Neither do I have any energy to go outside on Friday because it's right after Thursday, and no doubt me and the art team are probably gonna have dinner again and the whole shebang again. Um, so I don't know. And so the woman responded earlier this morning saying, okay, today my office closed at 3:30 and on Friday my office closed at 1 p.m., which is come on, bruh. So, given that it's nearly 3 p.m. now, it's impossible for me to go today. So I'm gonna probably go on Friday, which I don't like either. I just wrapped a film set, I just wrapped and I'm tired, I want to sleep, and you're telling me this? Come on. So also, I kind of want to go to Cine Gear, but maybe that's gonna happen on Saturday. I don't even know anymore. So yeah. So that's that. Um, yeah. So that's that. That's the situation indeed. So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. So I guess I'm going on Friday then. Um, yeah, and I have to wake up even earlier because I want to do a review. I also want to do a review today, actually. But yeah, that was a good ass sleep. I really enjoyed that sleep. That was a really solid sleep indeed. That's a sleep I've been waiting to have for 4 days, you know. Um, Housing, I made progress. I made two, no, I wouldn't say friends, but I made two connections on Reddit. I'm DMing them. They DM'd back. We're gonna talk a little more on, places. I thought it's genuinely not a bad idea to like find a spot, just like a random house within the DPS zone or like just right outside the DPS zone. Um, Even if I have to pay a little more, but if it's in unit washer dryer, if it's got AC, if it's got good internet, and if the roommate doesn't wear shoes indoors and is quiet, bam, 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 bam. The only two things that's going to be a little awkward is the fact that I'm a YouTuber and I have to speak to myself a lot, and also I sleep very late, so you'll be hearing shower sounds. But again, if me showering at 4 a.m. is okay here, with the thin walls, the tofu drag thin walls that this place has, then I'm sure it'll be fine if I live in a more expensive house. But yeah, housing is one thing. Avichai, the Israeli guy, may call me today, so that's probably going to be happening. Um, and yeah, it's interesting because Avi High got into USC, but Kuchio didn't make a post about it. Kuchio didn't make an Instagram post about it. Well, to be fair, it's not really. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair, Ivy High is not really in that college right now, I guess, or I don't really know. Um, and yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it. Um, Not much else. I may as well just stay at home full day today, chill, maybe do exercise, tire myself so that I can go to bed earlier. That's always been the plan. Um, Practice drawing. Frank told me yesterday that apparently the intro to art directing class is a very theory based class and it's not really that practical, though we have to build like a model using styrofoam at the end of the class. But before that, it's actually very theory based, and we watch movies and still though it's hopefully it's fun. Hopefully it's fun. He also told me that higher production classes like practicum to PD, which I really want to do, is really difficult for CAMS students to go in. But if the professor is someone by the name of something, maybe I can ask Yao for help, and Yao could, you know, tell the professor some things, and the professor will, let me in. So that's great. I need to make more connections in the network of PDs. I think, at least for the Chinese side of SCA, all the PDs kind of know each other. Joy is the PD for Neither Donkey Nor Horse and Anywhere the Wind Blows, and he's friends with Frank. Frank is also knows, like, I was talking to Frank about Jamie's short film, and Frank was like, "Oh, how did that go?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty nice." And I was like, "Oh, I was in the art team with Shirley and this Vicky person who's an animation major." And Frank was like, "Oh yeah, I know who that is." And I was like, "Oh yeah, there's also Claire." And Frank was like, "Oh yeah, I know who that is." And I'm like, "Okay, of course you know who that is." It's crazy again because like Frank is in CAMS. How did he get so involved with production? Like, what happened? Like, there's this YouTube guy. His name is Jiayang Liu, and he's Chinese American, I believe. And I watched some of his videos before applying to USC because he makes these top 10 things to avoid when you apply to USC or some videos like that. Turns out he's worked with Frank pretty directly on his short film, and in the same short film, I also see Jamie and Vicky being photographed together. Um, and it's like, oh wow, why you're a CAMS person? What happened? I want to be that. So Frank, I want to be the next Frank. Is now my next goal. So definitely. Also, another advantage I have is that I can appeal to both the Chinese clique and the Asian American clique. I think that's really important. Um, and I feel like if I get into intro to art directing class, I'm yapping again. It's been 8 minutes. If I get into intro to art directing class, I get to expand a little bit, expand my cliques. Maybe I befriend a white person, and there's a whole American film club, or that's lame. Or I befriend a South Asian person, and I get to experience a little bit of the South Asian film clubs and their film circles. I don't know, but like, so yeah, lots to expect, lots of things to look forward to, and my life continues to develop from here. Um, yeah, yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. That's basically it. That's basically it. Alrighty, time now is 8:31 p.m. It's only been about maybe 6 hours since I filmed my morning update video, but yeah, might as well end off today here. Very minimal day. I'm glad I didn't go outside at all because given how late I woke up, given how early I needed to sleep tonight, today's not going to be a long day anyways. Tomorrow will be a long day for sure, but today is a rather chill day. Um, yeah, yeah, nothing all that important happened. I realized that I still have a lot to do. Despite that, I rested a lot today. I feel like so far I haven't done much today other than filming and editing a review. Because oh yeah, Avi Hai needs to call me. I'm gonna remind him actually. I don't know why I'm so kind to people. But yeah, I feel like I haven't really done much today. Um, and that's because yesterday was extremely tiring, and I just really needed to do nothing for a change. Like I was gonna write the script for my review, but I just ended up listening to music because I just really wasn't in the mood. I just wanted to listen to something and watch some music videos, and. Um, but yeah, Rachel. Apparently, she's in this huge Discord server, where it's a bunch of USC transfers. So that's huge. That's like, if you found a Discord server with all film students, that's already really big. But fuck off. I already killed 2 flies today, I think. Um, but yeah. I just Rachel found a Discord server. Oh, for fuck's sake. They're everywhere. Live kill. Live killing reaction. Dead. Where's the other one? Okay, I'll catch him the next time. But yeah. I'm gonna stop. There's a dead body here, I'm sure of that. So speaking of moving, right. Um, yeah, so yeah, Rachel found, she's in a Discord server, huge Discord server, about 760 something people. I joined it. That's gonna help me. Glenn responds. Glenn said that he's sick, but one of his roommates, needed someone to occupy his place for fall this semester. I don't know if it's like a permanent thing or just like a 1 semester thing. If it's a 1 semester thing, then please maybe not, because bad idea. But yeah, and then I found again 2 people on Reddit who may also be able to find a place with me. Um, Yada yada. So moving along, definitely moving. So I was right when I said that I only have one tool in my toolbox, and that's connections. Like every time I'm in some kind of trouble, every time I need something, connections. So like yeah, like connections, reaching out on Reddit and talking to Glenn and Rachel about this definitely like helped or will help in some way, shape, or form. The other thing is okay, there's a fly. I don't know if it's the same one. Okay. But yeah, the other thing is right. More stuff happened yesterday that I forgot to mention. One regarding sexuality, because I don't know, I keep like forgetting to talk about that. But Oli is apparently a trans girl. But I didn't realize. I mean, I should have. I guess I wouldn't know. Because she's bald, but it's not like I haven't seen a bald woman before. Um, but yeah, and I guess that adds on to the whole, I guess, David beefing with her kind of situation, or more like David harassing her. Anyways, and then another thing was there was a moment when Yao was talking to me in the karaoke about, like, oh, do you know that singer? Like she sings a lot of like cover songs, and she's really good, and my ex-girlfriend really likes her, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, And it turns out that singer is Joanna Wong, which is interesting because I recently did a review on her album. Fantastic album, by the way. But so yeah, and then I later joked saying that, oh, we're film students, we're all gay, we're all bisexual. At least in the community college I was in, everyone was freaking bisexual, which is hilarious. I'm straight, but even in an environment like this, you can't help but feel that there is an air of diversity. Oh my god, my hair is so annoying. Jesus. There was one more thing I would like to mention from yesterday, but I already forgot. Um, hmm. 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 Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just, I forgot. Yeah. Um, but yeah, there was a pretty interesting moment where me and Cha, the Indonesian woman, and Yao were talking about like Chinese characters, and Cha was trying to read Chinese, and I started teaching Cha. And again, like, I'm a Hong Konger. I don't call myself Chinese, but I'm also like culturally and ethnically Chinese. So I'm just as qualified as Yao to do that. It's weird being a Hong Konger sometimes, especially in USC. But anyways, yeah. So Friday, I'm going to the employer's office, 11 a.m. That's the plan. So I'm gonna wake up at 9 that day. It's gonna suck, but it's fine. I won't go anywhere on a Saturday. I'll wake up at 9. I'll film the review and eat a breakfast, and I'll go over there, to the office, do the job interview thing, come back home, have lunch, leave, go to the film set in USC, and help strike the set. That's the plan for Friday. Um, yeah, and then and tomorrow call time is 8 a.m. for the art team, 9 a.m. for the rest of humanity, 8 a.m. for us, which means that I have to wake up at 7 tomorrow morning. Amazing, love it. There have been moments in the last few weeks when I've fallen asleep at 7 a.m. or later. So I need to wake up at 7, so I'm gonna like probably rely on the melatonin tonight. Go to bed at 3, perhaps. So yeah, fuck me. Again, I'm gonna work out and tire myself, but you know, melatonin is required this time around. Um, and then yeah, and then that's pretty much it as far as things to talk about. Um, I'm feeling okay. I don't know. At some point, I'm gonna suddenly run into Leslie in one of these film sets, but I'm glad that so far, out of the 3 sets I've been to in USC, I haven't ran into her yet. So that's great. um, yeah, and it's interesting because like I don't know. I speak to Yao and Frank, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of drama here. There's a lot of drama there," and I'm like a newbie. I'm like pure innocent clean. But I just came out of this dumpster fire that is the community college, and I had sort of, in a way, beef with Leslie. It probably feels very out of character for USC Enoch to have beef with anyone, but it does happen. It did happen. Um, but yeah, beefing with a Chinese girl is just, I mean, cinema. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for today. Looking forward to moving for sure. Not looking forward to the process of moving, but like living in a place that's stable. Um, and doesn't have so many flies and cockroaches for sure. Um, yeah. yeah. Oh. What the fuck? Oh, there you are, sneaky boy. Sneaky boy. Sneaky bitch. Sneaky bitch. You are a sneaky little bitch. You are a sneaky, sneaky, sneaky bitch. Don't run, don't run. Don't run, you fucking bitch. I will drown you in soap because you're a bitch. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, okay. You wanted to run, huh? You want. One can play this game. One can play this game. Oh, oh, upside down. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when you're upside down? What you're gonna do when your world turns upside down and all around? Okay, a little difficult position, but okay. There it is. There it is. Oh my god, okay. Okay, time now is 6:39 a.m. in the morning on May 30th. I slept from 3:30 to 6:35. So yeah, just 3 hours sleep. I did take a melatonin pill. Yeah, I went to bed at 3:30. I didn't immediately fall asleep as expected. But yeah. I don't know, it's just another one of those moments where you're not sure if you actually did fall asleep or not. Because the sleep was so short, and I feel like the first hour of the sleep was just not really sleeping. But yeah. Fuck. I hope I'm able to function today. Also, the reason why I'm waking up a little bit earlier at 6:35 and not 7 is because um yeah, it is because instead of getting picked up directly outside of my apartment, um I need to head to the USC Village first so that I and Diana, the Persian woman, can get picked up at the same time. Last night, I and her had to negotiate for a better spot. Originally, it's the USC Village Target. She will walk over to that place from her place, and that's gonna be a little while. But for me, I have to take the bus, which is fucking terrible. But Shu Fan, one of the producers, insisted that it's better if we pick one location so that he can pick us up at the same time. So after some negotiation, it ended up being the Jefferson/McClintock intersection, which honestly isn't that different from the freaking Target anyways. I still have to take the bus. So wish me luck, bus 38. I think I'm gonna sleep on the car. Yeah. Oh my god, this fucking sucks. I hope I don't die.
If you want.
Let me call Yao first. Let's
Yeah.
see. Is she gonna just Uber here or waiting for? Here is my Starbucks. Hi, morning. We're here to shoot for film.
Do you have your driver's license?
Yes,
For both IDs?
all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There.
Good morning, sir. Have a good day. And also, do you need directions or you just go?
Maybe we need some directions. Like where can we park? I think that's in the call sheet, but I forgot. Do you mind? What's it called? Satr. SATR?
Yes, SATE. Like old, not old, but like Hollywood films.
Okay, I can foresee the parking problem and direction to the set right now.
Let's ask
Like now. Yeah, if they say you can compare the
Not bad.
Not bad? Here?
Yeah.
You know why it's upside down?
Huh?
You know why it's upside down?
It's not.
In Beijing.
Oh, okay. So we have to use a lot.
Whoa. What is this? Oh, okay. Good. Oh, okay. Not this though. Not this. Hold on. Is that a coconut? Bruh. We don't want this. Yeah, there we go.
What's the hardest word you taught me?
Wait.
Team what? That's her phone.
Did you speak Chinese?
然后 Olivia 要稍微往前站一步。Yeah, both hands. Both hands. Okay, good. Okay, 3, 2, 1, drop. Let's reset.
It's up to you. Like I said, I'm just an operator. You know, I'm looking.
Let's try that.
This is all part of you. What's up?
Stay with the fan.
I remember I couldn't adjust the speed or the direction.
Maybe 20% for now because we move much closer. And point it a little, yeah, to the right. Ready? Run. You have it? Good, huh? Back. Maybe this time.
Send it to somebody. Send it to somebody.
That was a video.
To Savoca. Send it to
Okay. Ready? You two spread out. Spread out. Look more on the fan. Run back to USC.
Extra.
These are 3? Okay, so why don't you like stay here, like in front of him? Yeah, and come close to him. Do you see them? Do you see his tiny bit of his shoulder? I think that's fine. A little bit. You can face. I indicate. It's good. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, this is 3.
说你走过来，说你
Okay, moving on to 4.
好横过来呀。
Four. Okay, move. Everyone's not sure what they're saying. We're just following her. So, 阿姨，你先说我们要自由 and then everyone's not sure. We're just copying.
Okay.
Okay. 我们要自由。
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 我们要自由。我们要自由。我们要自由。
我们要自由。
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 自由。
我们要自由。
解放。
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 解放。解放。
Theater?
I think so.
What? What?
Fetish cat. This is a sex theater.
How do you tell?
It says over there.
Where?
Alright, time now is 9:58 p.m. Just came back home like a couple hours ago, took a shower. I'm gonna make dinner. There's an after party, but I'm not going. I was sitting on my chair and I fell asleep. That's how sleep deprived I am right now. So yeah, I'm gonna cook dinner. I'm not even gonna change my clothes when I cook dinner. I'm just gonna go ahead. Use the chicken thigh that I made, and just roll with it, I think. Okay, time now is 11:46. Let me talk about today for a bit, and by a bit I mean for a lot. I'm probably gonna go on and speak for 40 minutes straight, but bear with me. So today is, for me, day 5 of lock. For everyone else, it is day, I believe, 7 of shooting. And if you add that to the set construction of lock, it's day 13. So yeah, it's been, plus the break day yesterday, it's actually 14 days. So it's been 2 freaking weeks. Let's talk about today. So obviously I barely had any sleep today. I believe I slept for even less than 3 hours, which is so little. It's honestly a little bit concerning. It's actually a major health concern. The thing is, the fact that I was able to go to bed at 3:30-ish last night was already impressive. Because I go to bed at like 5:30 all the time in the last few days. Even weeks. And that's concerning because 3:30 is not early at all. That's still hilariously, terribly late. So, fixing my sleep schedule is extremely important. That, and also defeating my insomnia. I don't know why my insomnia has become a thing, but it's become way more and more difficult for me to fall asleep. I do think there are various factors at play, like, also I sound a little energetic right now, despite being insanely tired. I think that's because I just had dinner and the food gave me a little energy, but anyways, I digress. I think it's because I sleep late, and sleeping late hurts my melatonin output, I'm guessing. B, it's an exercise thing. I don't exercise enough. So my body's like, okay, well, you don't need to sleep that much, because, you still have so many calories to burn. It's probably maybe a food thing too. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been intaking so much calories. But anyways, so today I woke up at 6:40. And then I immediately brushed my teeth, made my hair look nice, and I changed my clothes and immediately left. Didn't eat breakfast or anything. It's okay. I mean, I'm bringing stuff over there to eat. So, last night I and Diana, the Persian woman, reached a conclusion that we're gonna meet up at the Jefferson McClintock intersection. So fine. So I decided to take the bus. Turns out the bus left. The bus was pretty much on time, showed up at 6:50. I didn't. That's a fucking fly, isn't it? I'm gonna blow it. Mamma mia. So, the bus showed up at 6:50. I didn't leave the apartment until 6:53, so I missed the bus. Fuck it. Walk. So I spent about 15-ish, maybe 20 minutes walking. So that's great. I slept for less than 3 hours and I walked to school. But I was pretty much right on time. I saw Shufan pull up. Shufan, the Chinese guy, he pulled up and I saw the Persian woman, Diana. And then I crossed the road and entered the car and boom. And then here we go. We venture into Studio City. So this is my second time going to Studio City. The first time I went there by accident. Actually, Universal Studios Hollywood is technically Studio City, and I've been there in 2016. But in my entire run in the USA this part of my life. I only went to Studio City once, and it's by accident. And it's the time I wanted to watch Dune Part 2 with Michelle, but I overshot the bus stop, the metro stop by one stop, and I went from Hollywood to Studio City, and I had to take the train backwards. But yeah, this time I'm actually for real there, and it's a fancy place, it's a rich place, and it just has an aura of, ooh, all the people here are film people. They're film crews and studio executives and producers and writers and directors and, you know, DPs. Like, this is a filmy place, it's an entertainment place, you know? Yeah. Apparently, Frank thought the call time was 9, even though the art team it was 8. So Frank didn't wake up in time. So Frank and Yao and Cha are coming a little late. So me and Shufan and Diana, we went to Starbucks and bought some coffee. Again, coffee, but come on, let's be honest here. I need that fucking caffeine. So I got myself a caramel macchiato. Tastes like milk. It's not strong enough. I'm used to the coffee. I'm used to caffeine now. I gotta go stronger from here on out. But yeah, and then we went to Studio City. We went to this CBS studio lot / Radford studio lot, and it's pretty fancy. I don't think I've ever really been to a studio lot before. Like, I have been to the Universal Studio lot, but it was like a studio tour, which is part of the attractions of, like, Universal Studios, you know. But I've never really, like, shot there, I believe. So it's really interesting to be in a studio lot. It's just a giant lot of land with a bunch of sound stages, with a bunch of gigantic sound stages, enormous sound stages. But we're not filming on a soundstage. We're filming in an alleyway called the New York Avenue, or the New York Street, and it's literally just a street that tries to look like New York, with British architecture, or more like, you know, European British architecture. It fakes Chinatown. It fakes Italian restaurants, diners, and pizzerias. And apparently they shot a scene in Doctor Strange here. So it's really interesting. I'm just in this fake street, you know? With all these fake shops and fake restaurants. And the fact that I'm in the art department makes it even more interesting, because now I'm responsible for making this fake New York street turn into a fake street in Beijing, China. And it's actually not that complicated. We just cover up. We're not filming that much. We're filming maybe 1/4 of the street. So one side of the street we don't even see. The other side, the main side that we're looking at, we don't even see half of it. So we only had to cover up like 4 shops and turn them Chinese. So there's tons of posters and pieces of paper to cover up all the English texts. And then there's some stuff. So the moment I stopped by, Cha, Yao, and Frank were already there, and with my diagonal bag and my jacket on, I immediately started helping out. So there's this wine shop, which is like weird to happen in Beijing. So we covered up the whole thing with cardboard and silk, and we moved the tables out, or not out, but we moved the tables inside the fake wine shop. And then there's an everything shop. Like, the shop can literally sell anything. It's a ceramic shop, whoever used it last. But there's like a bunch of random props inside. From Dutch shoes, like wooden Dutch shoes, to owl-shaped ceramics, to Middle Eastern kind of vases, to bonsais. So I just decided, I looked at the bonsais and I'm like, Asian, so I just put them up on the glass. So that's pretty much it. There's another store that is already Chinese looking because it's trying to be Chinese, so we didn't really have to do much. And then that's pretty much it, I believe. And then we put up a bunch of like red paper lanterns and like decoration because it's supposed to be Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year. So that was fun, and then we put down our stuff, and then the dressing continues. Not really. Actually, the dressing doesn't continue. My job was mostly done. We aged the cardboard with soy sauce and coffee. It smells weird. Didn't really work well, so I used scissors, and Diana used car keys to age it. We ripped and tore it, and then we stick more pieces of paper on a lamp post. Okay, job done. I can rest. So today mostly it was Yao, Cha, and Frank being really close together. Just the three of them working together on this bed sheet that we put red paint on, and apparently in the script they want the bed sheet to fly down from the second floor of a balcony to the ground. And that's a pretty complicated, and might I even add, the most complicated piece of set piece of the entire short. Even more complicated than the freaking sand that I had to deal with 2 days ago. Maybe more complicated than the food stuff and the moldy orange. But this piece of flying bedsheet, they decided to connect, to hold the four corners with fish wire. And like have someone be on a ladder and hold one end, and somebody on the ground floor, on the ground, holding the other end, and then sort of just pull back. But even so, it's still really fake. And then there's this gigantic fan about 1 story tall, and it's hilarious. And we somehow pulled it off. It looks really fake, but we did many takes of it. And then Equal was here, which is great. A lot of people sort of, Jamie showed up as well. Jamie, the Chinese woman, not the Chinese American girl who I haven't seen in ages, and I barely know. Jamie showed up as an extra. A bunch of people showed up as extras, and Equal was like, okay, you're gonna be an extra, and I'm like, fine. So I just, with my set clothes, I just became an extra, which I'm fine with. I like landing cameos in other people's short films. It's like leaving a little watermark on camera, you know. So for the most part today, I was basically 30%, 40% set dresser, 60% extra. So all we had to do is we had to follow the two main characters, walk out of a door of a building, and hilariously enough, that said building is an empty area that is actually the green room. We walk out of it, and the whole room is like nothing. There's nothing inside, just concrete. And we got some chairs, but we walk out of it, and it's the first time we're seeing sunlight in months. And then we're shocked, and we're smiling. And then an old woman yells, "We want freedom!" And then people started chanting along with it, which is a little cheesy. I get it, Hong Kong protests did it, but we did it systematically because it's protesting. We don't do it when we just come out of a building, you know. But anyways, we all yelled, "We want freedom." And I asked Monica, the director, can I say it in Cantonese, because it's like a Hong Konger representation, and she's like, sure. So I did that. Also, every time I was sleep deprived, I always get stomach aches. I think that's like a law. I think, again, it's because every time I don't get enough sleep, my intestines are not awake yet, and it can't digest anything, especially lactose. So I had coffee. That messed up my stomach a little bit. So for the entirety of today, for 12 hours, I had a stomach ache. It's not really stomach ache, it's more like uncomfortable stomach swelling because of the water, right? It feels full. So I was actually uncomfortable the whole day. But because I'm so accustomed to having stomach aches, it wasn't really that big of a deal for me. Yeah, it's so sad. But I was also really tired, so my stomach was uncomfortable. I was really tired. I felt cold. Sometimes I felt hot, sometimes I felt cold. So I ate a chocolate bar. This really dense, calorie heavy Cadbury caramel chocolate bar, 360 calories. It was a pain to eat, and it's completely molten because it's been sitting in my bedroom for like 2 weeks already. It's a nightmare. But yeah, so I was pretty much an extra, and I left my art team alone. It's a little strange because a couple days ago when I was on set, I and the art team were really tight. Today it felt disheveled. It felt a little, isolated. On top of that, by 3 p.m. after lunch, half the art team left. So Cha, Yao, and Frank left Studio City and went back to USC and started rapping. And I and Diana are left alone to defend for ourselves as the two PD people. So it's interesting because today's the last day, it's a big day, and it would be ceremonious for people to stay until the very end to see the final shot being shot and like hip hip hooray. But no, they just left, I get it, it's efficient, but it's also not ceremonious. So yeah, I spoke with Iko a lot. I and Iko really got close through the 2 film sets plus a class that we went through. I think we got really close. And because I'm tired the whole day, so I was like basically 70% of the things that come out of my mouth are like jokes, sarcasm, gibberish, things that don't make sense, memes. Like I wasn't serious at all today. Like I was just fucking around. And I think that's really good because when I'm fucking around, that's when I'm the most comfortable using Mandarin. So there have been so many moments today where I just started speaking Mandarin. But it would be like, again, it would be like memes or jokes or sarcasm, and it would be not fluent Mandarin. So it just felt like very out of place. I'm the only Hong Konger in the entire set, so let that sink in. But yeah. So yeah, lunch was, I grabbed a lot of food. I'm sure I didn't absorb any of those food because my stomach was already aching. But I ate so much food. Fried rice, fried noodles, broccoli, beef. It's kind of like Panda Express, but more expensive. Yeah. We then... I'm so scared of my bread becoming moldy. I'm gonna pop them in the fridge later, actually. Okay, right. Then... there's lunch, which I had with my art department. I still really wanted to like take a little time out and like socialize with Rocky or Lenti with Cantonese, or maybe Jamie and Arwen because I want to get to know them a little bit more. But yeah, anyways, I didn't really do much of that. And time moved really fast today, actually. So after lunch, we filmed, me and Diana, we did basically the most difficult shot of the entire, of what I have experienced. And that is, it's a close-up of, or like a medium close-up, MCU, of the main female character. Sort of, and I assume it's the final shot of the film because of how big it is. She's sort of like looking at her phone and looking around her and like panicking, but realizing that she's free finally. And all at the same time, the bed sheet sort of passes through her diagonally through the frame. It's pretty simple. And then like people run like past her, so shadow sort of like cast on her face. Seems simple, but goddamn is the setup ridiculous. So the G&E team decided to block out all the sunlight, surrounded her with huge flags, but then left a little opening and shot a giant light, or like a tall light, onto her. And then the first AD, Lisa, asked 5 people, including Equo and some others, and Jamie and Arwen and Shufan, to run around the light as if it's people running past her, so that shadows would cast upon her face. Halfway through the shot, or like before they do the run, I and Diana, on 2 separate ladders, holding up the giant bedsheet, have to let go of the bedsheet on time so that the bedsheet could pass through her face. And we did that so many times, and I'm tired, but also this is difficult, but sometimes I can't help but feel helpless. Like I'm not good at this. And Diana's obviously, she's a film production student, she's MFA, she's better than me. There was a couple moments where it almost seems like it's going to be frustrating. But thank God she's a really nice person, and I'm a really nice person. But it is tough. Like, I and her have different sides to hold on to in the bedsheet. There's fish wire. Lisa told us to cut the fish wire because it's dangerous. There, at some point, a piece of fish wire got around my neck, but it was really soft. I couldn't feel it, but they were scared that I would get choked or decapitated or something. First decapitation on a USC film set history. But on top of that, so because it's a very tight shot, it's difficult for us to be in frame, but at the same time, we somehow got into the frame and we had to readjust the ladders, and I had to like raise the bedsheet higher and lean forward so that the bedsheet doesn't fall onto the female actress's head directly, which happened twice and really threw her off. And then we had to make the bedsheet fly diagonally, so Diana has to drop first and then me the second. And then for some reason I keep messing it up. She drops and then I wait a beat and then I drop, but that beat went really fast and it was almost basically simultaneous, so it didn't achieve the diagonal effect. So she had to drop and I look at her and then she cue me and then I drop so that it would pass the camera perfectly, slowly and perfectly enough. So that was really tough. And I was on a ladder for like, I don't know how long, like half an hour maybe. But anyways, that went through. And then immediately after that, we had the most fun shot of the short film where they need an insert of a bedsheet like being blown away by wind. But again, Lisa, the first AD, had this idea of like falling down the ladder and then another person catches the bedsheet and drags on and somehow none of us are going to be caught by the camera. Obviously that doesn't work. So it's a one person thing. Giant fan, Diana throws the flag, it flies onto camera, and then it keeps getting blown. That's an insert shot, but it was really fun because it felt like a windstorm. Immediately afterwards is easily the most complicated shot for everyone, and it is a dolly shot where, again, it's the same shot that we did earlier the day. For some reason we're doing it again, but this time a wide shot. I don't know why we didn't put those two shots together. It's confusing, but it's a lot of coordination. It's basically stunt coordination. Lisa's basically stunt coordinating us. We have 4 different beats. One beat is the 2 characters at the door. The other beat is right before the dolly track, and there's a third beat where they're further in the dolly track, and the 4th beat is when the actress stepped aside to make a phone call. And in all 4 beats, all of the extras have their own distinct spots and locations and actions, and we did this so many takes. Every time Lisa was like, last take, we film it, she's like, okay, let's go for another one. And she did that like 4 or 5 times. At some point it was so tiring, my stomach's hurting, but it was like within character. Like I feel like my extra character, whatever it's gonna be, just came out of quarantine. Obviously I'm gonna look like a zombie and act like a zombie, but yeah. But it's fun acting for a bit. But yeah, that went on for a while. And then a couple more here and there, and then we wrapped. So it was nice. We wrapped before sunset, and then very quickly me and Diana tore every PD prop and decoration down, stuffed them into a suitcase and a box, and boom, there we go. We left. Shufan drove us home. Couple of moments, honestly. Couple of mementos. Politics. It's weird to bring up politics, especially in such a Chinese film set, but it does come up once in a while, especially given that the short film itself is also kind of political. At some point, I was explaining to Cha about the Hong Kong protests, and Frank was there. And again, it's weird because, like, most of the people I meet on this set are nice, like, but you do have to realize that they're Chinese, you know. So I bring up the Hong Kong protests, and Frank was like, "Yeah, I don't know the details." Like, obviously, he's trying to like be very careful around it, not say anything sensitive. And I explained it actually because I have nothing to lose. I don't care anymore. I explained how the protest started, what happened, sort of the basic gist of it. So yeah. And then a little bit later, when we were rehearsing, like as an extra, we talked about Taiwan, I think, or no. I think I was talking about how I would make a short film, and Equal was like in Hong Kong, and I'm like, yeah. And then Jamie and Arwen heard it, and Jamie asked me if I'm flying to Hong Kong directly or if I'm making stops, and how expensive is the plane ticket. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll make a stop in Taipei again, because I keep doing that whenever I take EVA Air. And then we talked about Taipei, and then Mitchell, one of the grips, was like, "Oh, Taiwan? You mean East China?" You know, as a joke. And I was joking like, "Oh, I was thinking you were gonna say that China is West Taiwan." And then that caught the actress's attention, and the actress turned around and she commented saying, "Well, I didn't even hear entirely what she says, but she says something along the lines of like, China of course belongs to, Taiwan obviously belongs to China, and I had some Taiwanese friends who said some stuff, but they're just Chinese," and like, she questioned a Malaysian person and asked a Malaysian person about Singapore, and then she said, "Well, that's how I feel about Taiwan. They're overrated." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, you're a little too in character," because her character is supposed to be someone from Beijing. And, and Beijing people are very patriotic, so a little in character. I don't know. And then at the very end of the day, when Shu Fan was driving me and Diana home, I was talking about the previous MFA shoots I've been to, and I talked about Anywhere the Wind Blows, and Shu Fan was like, "Oh yeah, that's a good short film," but when I watched it, I felt uncomfortable because it was like Taidu or Gangdu. So, Taidu means Taiwan independence. Taiwan independence has nothing to do with that short film at all. And then he corrected Gangdu, which means Hong Kong independence. But the thing is, that short film also isn't about Hong Kong independence. I guess it's related. It's about a guy who suffered from the Hong Kong protests. It's very, very, very indirectly related. Very indirectly. It doesn't even have an independent message in the short film. But I don't know. I think I don't want to like read it too deeply, as in he supports China. And also, I don't understand people who don't support Hong Kongers. Like, I mean, the government's oppressing us. Who in the right mind would think that that's okay? Like, you'd have to be brainwashed. I don't think Shu Fan is brainwashed. I just think that him, like many other Chinese people, are conditioned to not think about politics. So whenever something's political, it's like, oh, it's a little weird, And also, again, like, Gangdu is a very Chinese phrase. It's a derogatory phrase to label all people in Hong Kong who are part of this movement as haters of China. But it's not as simple as that. I obviously don't hate China, and I don't hate Chinese people. Why else would I join this set in the first place anyways? I am of the opinion, I think Hong Kong independence is a great fucking idea, by the way. But that's because of the Chinese government and not the Chinese people. That's two very different things. The other thing is, I don't think Hong Kong independence is the greatest solution. You know what's the greatest solution? The entire China getting freed. 1.4 billion. But that's a little too ambitious. Anyways, there are other small moments where I spoke to Rocky and Lanty in Cantonese. Those moments are awesome. So yeah, I spoke with them in Cantonese. There was a bee that was going around the tripod, and I was like, oh, bee, ma phone. And that's like the first Cantonese word I've said all day, all week maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. But he said moyok, like don't move. And a little bit later, I asked him if I could borrow the ladder. And then at the end, Lenti was like, thank you. I know you're tired. Blah 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 blah. So it's really nice to hear a little Cantonese within Mandarin. But I really dislike it when people describe Mandarin as Chinese. I think for a couple times today, people were like, wait, so you understand Chinese? Do you speak Chinese? And it's like, well, Chinese is not just Mandarin. You know, Chinese is a group of languages. To call Mandarin Chinese is to exclude all the other languages within this umbrella. You know, Cantonese, Shanghainese, Hakka, Hokkien, etc., etc. Anyways, I'm tired. We left. Turns out they're doing an after party thing at 8:30 p.m. They are throwing an after party at K-Town. They're drinking. It's great. And they're doing it partially because Lisa is leaving. Lisa is going back to China tomorrow. Immediately. And in a couple of days, Shufan is going back to his hometown, Chongqing. So they decided to do an after party kind of thing, but I was too fucking tired. Also, I'm very uncomfortable. I can't drink or eat anymore. That would make me die. So I have to go home and go to the bathroom and take a very long, hot shower. So that's what I did. I debated myself a little bit whether I want to go to the after party or not, but I feel like it's, you know, I already said goodbye to a lot of them. Like, I said goodbye to Lanty and Miley and, you know, Rocky, and I'm like, okay, hopefully we'll see each other in the future or something. Also, Miley isn't Taiwanese, as it turns out, because I was hearing her accent, and her accent is not very Taiwanese. I brought it up in front of Frank, and Frank was like, yeah, that's not a Taiwanese accent. I don't know who told you that. Turns out she's from Ningbo, which I believe is in Shandong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which is so different from Taiwan. It's honestly funny. So literally no Taiwanese person, no Hong Kongers, nor Malaysians or Singaporeans, no ethnically and culturally Chinese people who don't identify themselves as Chinese, other than me. I feel like an outlier to a certain degree, but not as much of an outlier as non-Chinese people on set, you know, like white people, Latinos, and that Persian woman, Diana. And the producer, Kirsten, who is a black woman. So, anyways, interesting position to be at. But yeah, overall today was alright. It was extremely tiring. Way worse than 2 days ago. And I have to sleep early tonight as well, for the job interview thing, plus the striking of the set. And maybe we'll have dinner together again or something. Me, Cha, Yao, and Frank, and perhaps Diana is also going back to strike the set. But yeah, that's tomorrow. And I have to wake up extra early tomorrow because I want to film a couple videos before I leave. So, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Yeah, that's basically it for today. So, after the shower, Cha called me on Instagram, and I'm like, I can't go. But yeah, aside from that, that's done. That is done. 3 short films in the semester so far. And I say so far because what if I randomly hop onto another set in June, even though it's going to be unlikely. Maybe a tiny set. Maybe that's possible. Anyways, easily the toughest short film I've been on since Ends and Means. Easily. Which is great. Like, I've been waiting for this tough short film experience. You know. It's not as bad as Ends and Means. It's not as stressful. Even though I did more here than in Ends and Means. But Ends and Means is just too toxic. Yeah. Side note, Frank graduated the same year as Jung Yimo's son. Fun fact. But yeah, I don't know, because a lot of these people are in grad school, and I don't know what are the chances that I'll get onto an MFA set and a bunch of these people show up again. And even if they do, it's not going to be like 100% the same group of people again. There are bound to be changes, new people coming, old people leaving, you know. So I don't know. I like how unpredictable this is. If this is the community college, if I go onto a film set, chances are you're meeting the same bunch of people again. But this time around, it's unpredictable. If I go to an APCA film set, it's a whole different set of people. Almost. Maybe Equo would be there, because Equo sometimes joins APCA. I don't know. Lots of unpredictability. Also, Mitchell is also part of APCA, I believe. Because he's like, oh, do you know Hugh? And I'm like, oh yeah, the Vietnamese American guy. And he's like, oh, do you know Garrett? And I'm like, oh yeah, the Filipino American guy. I know people. Let's be real. And that's it. It's good. Even though I've been on this film set 5 days, accumulative, I feel like I have made some pretty great, valuable friends. Not great, valuable, but like I've made friendships. You know, I've experienced things with people. And that's what film is for, really. Friendship. You know. Yeah, this is what I paid the money for. USC tuition is expensive, but by paying that tuition, I allow myself to take the world building class. I allow myself to connect with Shirley. Because of Shirley's Instagram story, I got referred to Locke. And because of Locke, I met people like Yao and Frank, who may or may not be helpful in the future. So, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm tired.